in the Lakers corner. Where we at? This is the SP Brewing Company, right? Right here. Now since my boy Kobe is hurt, I'm thinking we can't make a run. I don't know, we got Howard. They may be able to pull out something. We might surprise the people, but check out this corner right here. So you got Diesel, Shaq Diesel right here. You got Kobe, you got Magic, and you got Jerry West. Now you know what's interesting? That's not an even number. 34 is an even number. Because you divide it by 2. Okay. 44, 32, 8. All the numbers can be divided by 2. Must have something to do with greatness, people.
Papa's Hustle is really a platform for a number of reasons. It serves the purpose of giving me an outlet where I can tell my story, to expand my businesses. It's a marketing tool. It gives me an opportunity to share with my fans, those that have been supportive over the years. They get an opportunity to see what goes on behind the scenes and see what the grind is all about.
Out when he said, "Oh, I forgot one of my earrings." I don't normally do that.
I know. I have certain accessories that I wear. Earrings, bracelets, and scarves.
And when you said that, it was like boom. I said, I'm gonna pitch to her an idea of doing a documentary about the history of the film festival in San Pedro and put her in it. Because you were passionate, I could just sense your passion, and I thought it was a great idea. But I wasn't. It was like, to me, it wasn't a sure thing. Like, I didn't know if you were going to go for it or not. And then Seamus had a pretty good idea.
He did. It was a clever idea, and unfortunately, we didn't have the time to do it. I thought maybe we were going to collaborate, and the best plans of mice and just think those can always happen. Your enthusiasm impressed me. We had a youth collaboration society. What impressed me the more was the film that you did about dance with your professor from El Camino. And in about 3 to 5 minutes, it said so much. It wasn't just a talking head.
I had this opportunity presented to me to participate in the LA Harvard International Film Festival. The founder and director came to my school, Marymount California University, and she was speaking to my AM 350 class, and she presented an opportunity for the students to get involved either by pitching an idea or maybe submitting a film. And so I recognized the opportunity, and I truly wanted to participate. I recognized that Ms. Martis was very passionate about what she was doing. She's very knowledgeable, and I saw an opportunity where I could be supportive of what she was doing, as well as seize the opportunity to present my talent.
I took on the commitment of making this short film, and then fast forward to the beginning of the festival. This piece was supposed to play before films that we're going to be showing, and it stalled. She emailed me after that Friday night. She emailed me. I went online to see if there was an email, because in my spirit I kind of just was hoping that nothing went wrong. And here's this email saying it's a glitch, it was embarrassing, it was disappointing, and all this. And I was like, man, I emailed her back and I was like, I'm sorry that you're disappointed. I'm sorry to hear what happened. I was very disappointed. It was like, here I am in the midst of I got to get back to my studies, get back to working on my finals. And so at that point, I really wasn't interested in really doing anything else with this film. I was pretty much done with it. I get an email from Dina Dini, and and her and Professor McMahon are at the school, I guess, in her office. They've been discussing it, and so when I talk to them, they're so supportive. They're like, whatever it takes, let's get a master copy of this. What is it going to take?
I was there on that evening, and the actual DVD stuck, and I kept saying, go on, go on, go on. And the next day, or in the middle of the night actually, there were emails going back and forth between Stephanie and Johnny was just at his wit's end, and he was like, I'm not gonna do this. I emailed him back and said, Johnny, you are the first one on this show. This is Johnny Jenkins' moment in time. You will regret for the rest of your life that you don't correct this glitch. Man, the next morning, Johnny and Professor McMahon, they were busy. They were on their way to Long Beach. They got this corrected. I was with Johnny on Saturday night when he was called up to the stage after his film had run, and everybody loved it. And I am so proud to be a part of this young man's life.
The next morning, I met with a professor early in the morning. He had made calls, and so at that point, we decided to go to this gentleman in Long Beach.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay. We're on our way. What's the place that we're going to?
We are going to Pacific Coast Studio. A very fine man named Dory, who was working on a documentary, and he is going to decide whether we need a menu page, and he's going to make sure he burns us the right DVD and a copy. And you're going to be in the film displaying business today.
Okay, so now we have some background on this. We did the film, and yesterday was the day that it was supposed to be featured. And so the DVD doesn't play. I was really disappointed. And
that's every artist's nightmare right there.
Right, you know, and then I don't even know how many people were there, but, you know, I guess it was really a disappointing thing for Stephanie. We're on our way. We're in the city of Long Beach, and we're going to this guy who's going to make us a master copy. But from what I understand, it may not be the DVD that we have. It could be the player.
Yep.
Okay? But I got a wonderful, you ever see that program, Touched by an Angel?
Ah, there you go.
Bam, right there, Touched by an Angel. Matter of fact, I got two of them, Dina Dini and Professor McMahon, right?
That's right.
So we're going to try to fix it.
I'll be the Michael Landon part there. He was in it early, and then they handed over to a nice-looking Irish actress. I saw her at a Van Morrison gathering. She was nice looking in the person. We're going to come back and go left, so go up here and take your first left, and we're going to come back.
Okay.
We'll go up to third. And
I went too far?
No, I was talking.
It's a never-ending story. Papa's grind. It's a constant hustle. A never-ending story. But you know what? My mind's made up. No matter what happens, whatever comes, whatever goes, we're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep pressing. Because, you know, it's all about who endures to the end. So boot camp never ends.
That's right. Well, 1% inspiration, 99% stick to it. He said he's across from that, so he's right over here. So any place you can see the park, we park. And if we can't find a park,
where's the address?
730. That's him right there.
Okay.
So any place you can find a park, we're walking.
I wonder, can we go inside
well,
here?
He said he had a garage. We could give him a buzz.
Okay, so yeah, there it is, right there.
That's his garage.
Okay,
we give him a buzz and say we couldn't find parking. Because he said he put us in the garage.
Yeah, so we're here. We made it here. About to go in here and try to solve this problem with the DVD.
Yeah, hey, Dory, Patrick McMahon. We are in the alley next door to your double doors, but we didn't. All right, there's a white garage door. That's where we're sitting, right by it. Okay, pull in behind the gray car, Johnny. He said right in there.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to back up.
All right, thank you. I'll get off the phone. We'll talk in person. Nice to meet you, John.
So
You want a
Yes.
a black screen that you can hit the arrow on.
Now, I'm on a Mac. They don't like AVIs. It's more of a PC thing. So I'm going to convert this.
Aesthetics. A prevailing tone or tendency. Spirit. An attraction to that which is pleasurable to one's senses. The aesthetic spirit of San Pedro. It has a uniqueness that seems to jumpstart harmonious notes within one's soul. It's sort of like the keys to life. The keys to life. Bam. There are so many things in the city of San Pedro that are aesthetically pleasing. There's that one soul possessing a deep and abiding love and devotion to bridge its offering to the world. Miss Stephanie Martisic, founder of the LA Harbor International Film Festival, talks about her commitment and continued devotion to the city and its offering to the world. I introduce to you the aesthetic spirit of San Pedro. Talk about the LA Harbor International Film Festival. This is your 10th year, celebrating your 10th year anniversary. Talk about what inspired you to form this wonderful offering that you make to the community.
The LA Harbor International Film Festival was founded in 2003. It came about because I was at an event at Ports of Call that the Chamber of Commerce was putting on. It was a Chipino contest. And we were there by the harbor side. There was a local media producer, Gary Cox, who was there shooting for Time Warner. And I said to Gary, one of these days we should put on the film festival that people have been talking about for decades. He said, that's a good idea. And I said, I think we should talk to Jack Barrett about this. He's another local filmmaker. And in walked Jack Barrett. So it was some kind of kismet. And I said, let's have a meeting, let's talk about it. I telephoned Al Nodell, who is the former head of Cultural Affairs, very much responsible for purchasing the Warner Grand Theater, which the city of Los Angeles did about 15 years ago. And we had a meeting and we talked about all the elements it would take to set up a film festival. As a public relations consultant and publicist, I had been involved with many film festivals, and as a journalist, I had written about them, particularly with regard to nonfiction documentary film. So when we had this meeting, we set up certain tenets. First of all, we knew we had the treasure of San Pedro, the Warner Grand Theater, a real movie palace. It was built in 1931, and Jack Warner, one of the Warner brothers, dedicated it and told the audience, you will be entering the palace of your dreams. And indeed it is. It's where I'm sitting at this moment. And when you look up at the proscenium arch and all the gilt-work on the ceiling, and you think of all the marvelous films and the movie stars who've really been in this movie theater, it's very exciting and it's very inspiring. The film festival is about celebrating the art of cinema, the culture, also education and enlightenment. One of the first things we established was our education outreach program called Read the Book, See the Movie. And simply stated, it's promoting literacy and a more thoughtful way to view a film. As a child, I always loved movies. I bypassed cartoons to watch movies, as a matter of fact. And the source material has been fascinating to me. When I was a film student at USC, I wrote papers along those lines. We knew that we wanted to engage young people and stimulate their consciousness, get them interested in seeing movies, and we started with a book called The Perfect Storm. Subsequently, we went toward classic literature. This year, it's The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. In past years, it's been The Swiss Family Robinson, Robert Louis Stevens' Kidnapped, the great Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. There are more titles than we could possibly show or or reveal in the course of a lifetime.
Talk about the experience of, seeing a movie in the theater when you were a kid. Talk about that experience.
One of the first films I remember seeing as a child in the Warner Grand Theater, which was then called the Warner Brothers, was Pinocchio, Walt Disney's Pinocchio. I was a wee little girl. I was so scared when Pinocchio was turned into a donkey that I ran out of the theater. Fortunately, I've continued to run back to the theater because it was just an animated movie of a child's story. Subsequently, over the years, the movie theater changed hands. It was in private ownership. It was dedicated to Mexican cinema at one point. It was a church, I believe, at one point. Thankfully, because the Department of Cultural Affairs purchased the theater over a decade ago, it's been preserved as a repertory house, which means movies are shown selectively with special programs or annual events like the LA Harbor International Film Festival, the Golden State Pops concerts, graduations for local high schools, the San Pedro City Ballet that puts on a fabulous version of the Nutcracker. And in years gone by, we've actually had the Los Angeles Philharmonic perform in the Warner Grand Theater. It's a marvelous venue. The acoustics are great. The lobby's lovely. The refreshment stand is always open with wonderful popcorn, and at the right occasion, a glass of wine or a glass of beer.
Let's talk about the sponsors. Talk about your support. You've garnered some significant support over the years.
The LA Harbor International Film Festival is very grateful to have some marvelous fiscal and in-kind sponsors that have been with us for this epic. As we've mentioned, it's our 10th anniversary year. It's so important to have that support because what it demonstrates when businesses support cultural events is that they make an investment in the community. And our annual event is as much about promoting the art and culture of film as it is everything that's going on in San Pedro, which is of course the port of Los Angeles. We have so many exciting things going on. The development at the waterfront. The USS Iowa arrived last year. The Lane Victory is now in the outer harbor. So the stretch from Harbor Boulevard all the way across to 22nd Street and out to the Cabrilla Marine Aquarium, the Korean Bell, Point Fermin Park, offers so many opportunities for visitors and tourists to come here for any occasion. But when they come to the film festival, you can see a movie, you can go down the street to Nico's Pizzeria and get a great lunch, or to the Brewing Company or the Whale and Ale or Think Cafe. You can park and walk. You can go a little further and go to the waterfront and take the red car and take a nice ride and see what there is to see along the waterfront. It's living theater. So we have an immense mission that's juxtaposed with the mission of the film festival, which, by the way, is to embrace everything about the harbor. And the log line, as we say in the movies, is to create a cinematic bridge between the people of the region and the people of the world.